Hello, in this video I want to explain how you can use thermistors with Flowcode and with eBlocks. Let me explain the hardware to you first. What I've got is a Matrix eBlocks 3 board. In this case it's an Arduino Mega board. I've got a LCD display on port B, and I've got a sensors or analog board on port F. Port F is the analog port for the Arduino. And on bit 2 I've got a resistor and a thermistor. These are connected to power and ground, and the junction gives off a voltage which varies with the temperature. And if I just hold the thermistor tightly there, you can see the thermistor temperature is going up to 28 degrees and then back down as it cools down. So let me show you how you can implement that circuit in Flowcode. So here's our Flowcode program. I've got a LCD display on port B, and the thermistor is on the analog pin F2. The program is fairly straightforward. I initialize the LCD display with the start, then we've got an endless loop. I clear the display, I put the value of the temperature into a variable temp int, and then I print that on the LCD display. And if you simulate it, you can see it working just as it worked in real life there. So that's fairly straightforward. The interesting thing here is how you configure the thermistor. And thermistors are complex components and they're very non-linear. So you can't use a straightforward y equals mx plus c style calculation. And in this case, what we do is we look at the different values of the thermistor between these temperature points here, 0 to 25, 25 to 50. And then what we do is we have a succession of small linear graphs that make up the values of the graph as a whole. And you can see here that the wiring is pulled down, and in other words that means the thermistor is connected between the chip pin and ground, and the resistor between the chip pin and plus volts. And what you need to do is you need to choose these values according to the datasheet. And this is the datasheet in this case. They're quite complex, I'm afraid. But in this case, we've got that part number there. And you can see that at 25 degrees, the resistor value is at 10K. At 0 degrees, it's 32.5K. And you put these numbers in this little table, and then Flowcode will calculate the temperature from the voltage for you. Now in this case, on the eBlocks hardware, it's been done for you, and the settings are like this as default, so it's fairly straightforward to use. And thermistors are very simple. They're very cheap because it's just a small component and resistor, but they're not that accurate, and if you want accuracy you need to go to a digital solution. Okay, thanks for watching.